Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in today. I've been gone for a minute and I'm back today just to give a brief recap of what I have failed to recap for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The last episode I did was episode 11 when Phaedra and Kenya went to Flint, Michigan. After that, the ladies went glamping in an effort to kind of bond and get back to nature, inspired by the Flint, Michigan trip. It was in this episode, or these episodes 12 and 13, where the rumors came to the surface about Kandi being a lesbian. And if you recall, that was all started by Phaedra, when she was telling Sheree about Shamia and Kandi and whatever. It was when Phaedra, Portia, and Sheree were together, and Phaedra was telling all these rumors. Well, it came to a head finally the glamping trip, and Kandi was so disgusted she left. So after they come back from the glamping trip, Kandi and Portia sit down to kind of talk about where these rumors came from. And that's when things really escalated. Portia starts accusing Kandi of having the sex dungeon, of trying to drug her, and having a threesome with Todd, and how Todd has some alias named Marvin in New York. And Kandi is just blown away. Like, she's never heard these things before. It's outrageous. And I really started to question Portia at this point, thinking, what is going on with Portia? I feel like she's just saying anything that she can say to keep the drama going, as if none of this stuff is verifiable, or she's just going to completely damage Kandi's reputation based off of gossip and rumors. Kandi's not having any of it. She turned the whole thing around, exposed Portia for the shady dealings she's been doing in the dark, and Kandi was like, I'm done. She has reached her limit. She's not playing any games anymore. She's letting everything out of the closet. And that's what I like about Kandi. Kandi keeps it all the way 100. If you say something to her, and if it's true, she'll admit it. But if you come at her, she's definitely going to come back at you and harder, and she's going to have facts and receipts. What I don't get is why Portia has this blind loyalty to Phaedra and has let herself be hung out to dry and has never once spoken up and said, well, Phaedra actually is the one who told me. She brought the news to me. But I guess it'll come out on the reunion. We'll see. Next, we find out that Kandi's going to plan a trip to Maui. But first, she invites all the girls over to her house, minus Phaedra, minus Portia, to relay to them all the things that happened at the lunch with her and Portia. And she tells them all the rumors that Portia's been spreading, and that's when she reveals that Portia's the one who likes to play with both teams. And the ladies are completely shocked. And so that's what happens when you mess with Kandi. Secrets are exposed. And it turns out that Portia was the one who came on to Kandi. Of course, Portia wants to blame it on the Henny, but whatever. She's the one who was the aggressor. And this is a small thing, but I thought it was pretty funny that Cynthia was trying to discredit Portia further by saying, yes, Portia's a liar. She's the one that was saying Peter was sleeping all around Atlanta and whatever. But I was like, come on, sis. We all know that Peter's been up in those Charlotte streets doing whatever with whoever. So don't try to make it act like, Peter was innocent this whole time. Because if he was, you wouldn't have divorced him with a quickness. So come on now. So it's on the Maui trip where things become really explosive between Kandi and Portia. And Portia was not even invited to the Maui trip, but Phaedra talked her into coming as her +1 because all the women were bringing their men. So Portia not only showed up, but she brought her Todd. So it was just like a family affair. So on the trip, Kandi was trying to hold it together, but at their last night there, it just all exploded, where Kandi accused Portia of lying. Portia tried to defend it and suddenly said she heard something like this. So the lie, of course, is that now Portia is saying that someone told her that Kandi wanted to drug her and take her to a sex dungeon. Totally different story. Kandi is rightfully upset. I would be upset too and annoyed and angry about that. But I feel like Kandi's outrage is a little much because I heard that and I automatically rejected that as fallacy and garbage. So I don't know that people who are around Kandi, who know she doesn't drink, who know she's very straight-laced, she's really into her family and stuff, but maybe she's on the other side we don't see, but it just doesn't seem like something that people would readily grab onto or take as truth. But you never know. I mean, I guess you just really never know. And she doesn't want to take any chances. But I just felt like, man, she's super angry. Like this, I would be laughing. And I think people who know me would laugh and be like, what? Sex? What? I mean, it just doesn't seem like it fits her character. So I didn't think many people would really believe it. But I don't know the circles that Kandi runs in. I don't know the music industry. Whatever it was way across the line for Kandi because she is really hot and threatening to sue Portia. And I hope she does because Portia's out of control. I felt really bad for Candy because she was very upset. And Phaedra tried to jump in and act like, well, I don't know if there's lies or not lies. And Candy was even appealing to Phaedra, even as their old friendship. In respect of their old friendship, like, Phaedra, you know that I don't have a sex dungeon, and Phaedra wouldn't defend her. She still wouldn't say anything. I mean, it's a sad thing. I mean, I know they're not friends anymore, but I think that if you purport yourself to be a lady of integrity and truth and honesty, you're not going to let someone else malign someone else's character if you know it to be false. So that was disappointing. And not to jump ahead, but we know there's some stuff that goes down on the reunion. And we know there's a whole bunch of lies that comes through. And so we know that Phaedra's behind a lot of the lies, lesbianism, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if Phaedra was the one who told Portia that Candy wanted to drug her and take her to the sex dungeon. There's all this speculation out there about what the lie was and who did it. And Carlos King got fired and Phaedra got fired and all this stuff. But I mean, we know that Phaedra is not really there for Candy anymore. So I really wouldn't be surprised. You know what else is crazy is that Portia's willing to run with the lie. She also knows it's a lie. I don't really hold Portia out to be some paragon of virtue, but still, I mean, that's really going really, really far for a show. I mean, considering that she and Candy were friends, Candy was one that was on her side initially, put her in her play, gave her a chance. It really helped her to, establish this fan base when she was just a fledgling new cast member. And for her to really take it this far, just be friends with Phaedra? Like, what in the world does Phaedra have that Portia's decided to align herself with Phaedra over Candy? That is so weird. Whew, it's just a show. Just a show. But y'all, it's too much. I don't like that stuff. Anyway, another sad thing that happened on this vacation was between Sheree and Bob. Now, I was not really for Sheree and Bob getting back together because I'm just like, well, we don't really see a lot of change in Bob. He seems to be coming around more, but how do we know he's really changed, different, remorseful, those things? So when they were in the car and they started talking about domestic violence and domestic abuse, and Bob started making light of the fact that he choked Sheree and beat Sheree and all these different things, and he just didn't seem to have any compassion. Like, she starts crying, and he just was like, fadoop. Like, he didn't have any sense of connection with the whole thing. It was very strange. It was like either he says he doesn't remember what happened or he doesn't care that he did it. Like, how do you not have any compassion? This is a woman that you say you want to get back in her life. She's crying, she's hurting, and you did it. But you can't even humble yourself to say, man, baby, I'm sorry. I was young. I was dumb. I was on steroids or whatever else. And I made some huge mistakes. And I'm a change man or whatever she needed to hear. If it was sincere and genuine, that's what he should have brought to the table. But it's clear, I don't know, maybe Bob needs a check. Who knows what Bob's even doing with Sheree. But unfortunately, he was not able to repair that damage or even acknowledge that he created this huge wound in this woman. That was sad to see. So I'm happy that she's decided definitively that's it. I know she was trying to do it for her children, but sometimes you just cannot walk back into an abusive not sometimes, you never should walk back into an abusive relationship at all. And especially with somebody who is unchanged and unrepentant and has no recollection of those events. Sheree needed to flee the scene. Like, I mean, thank God that she decided to put the kibosh on that reconnection. So in the small issues I don't really care about, but that I comment on is the divorce party. I definitely think Kenya was coming from a good place. I do not think she was trying to hurt Phaedra or come at Phaedra. I think Phaedra was just looking for drama and just reaching back to some old news about how Kenya came between her and her husband. Had nothing to do with it. We all know that, we don't know, but we all believe that Phaedra had something to do with Apollo going to jail. He was really acting up. He was showing off. He was disrespectful. He was doing all kinds of stuff with other women. And she probably had enough. She probably was doing her dirt on the side also. But we know that Phaedra's cunning and smart and able to do her stuff on the under. And she hasn't been caught thus far. But like I said, I betcha we're going to come out with the truth in this reunion that Phaedra's the one behind all these wicked lies about Candy. The baby no. Okay. I think women should protect themselves. Great. But Portia, if you want a baby and no man, then go to the sperm bank. Why are you involving somebody else and then wanting to insist on this co-parenting situation, but then you want to take all the rights and all the control of the baby? It doesn't make any sense. This man has rights to this child. He has a right to make decisions on the child. It's not just about being a sperm donor and then paying half the money and then being around when you want to do something else. It's not like that. So I think that Portia needs to get her act together and get her mind right, because you cannot just bring a child into this world with your warped sense of values and think the baby's going to turn out okay. Like, you really have to get your mind together about what you truly want and why you want a baby. Is it for status? Is it for something internal that you're missing? But don't ruin another life because of a whim. Like, really sit down and do some soul searching, because you're going to wreck your life, the baby's life, Todd's life, or whoever you end up being pregnant by, because you just need to get your act together. It's not all about these other things that you want to put emphasis on. I'm glad that Todd said nope, and he did not sign that baby note. Another thing I don't care about, but we'll comment on, is what is going on with Cynthia? Like, why is it so important to her to be friends with Peter? Like, does she just want men to just want her the rest of her life, even though she's done with them? Like, that's cool that she has a good relationship with Leon, and I've said this before in another recap, but Peter is not Leon. Peter is not mature like Leon. Peter is still just out there playing games. But why does she need to have his approval or his friendship? There's something going on there that she can't just walk away. If you're done, be done. Get your life. Go somewhere else and meet someone else or whatever. You don't need to have Peter in your life. It's almost like this neediness of, like, she needs his approval, and it's okay that I left you. I'm still a good person, and I had nothing wrong to do in the relationship. That's why we can still be friends, because it wasn't me. It was all you. I mean, there's something going on with that. That's very weird to me. Just move on with your life. The Old Lady Gang restaurant finally had its soft opening for family and friends. It looked nice, y'all. It really came together. Looks great. Now, we don't know what they didn't show us, but hey, it looks great. I would go there if I was in Atlanta. Anyway, moving on to the important part of this non-issue, Apollo's girlfriend, fiance, side chick, whoever she is. Did y'all really believe that? I was thinking, this is an actress, a producer setup. Like, she seems so fake to me. Like, she came in, are you Todd? I'm here. Like, she came in the back of the restaurant. She didn't come in at the front like a guest. Like, the whole thing smelled like a producer setup to me. Apollo's calling, setting it up. I just don't believe it. I'm not saying that Apollo doesn't have his women somewhere, but it just seemed like this lady had the gall to just show up, and anyway, it seemed fake to me. Maybe she was legit, but the whole way it went down, it smelled of a producer setup to me. And lastly, the finale, the Chateau Sheree unveiling. Now, that was nice. Her house really looked beautiful. I loved all the fixtures, the finishes, the paint, the furniture. It all looked really, really good. I'm happy that it was a success. It was neat to see Lisa Wu come through there. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Kim Zolciak, but it was nice that she showed up, I guess. She really gave Kenya a run for her money, man. She was really all about that. She was quick on the comebacks. And so I thought it was kind of shady, of course, of Kenya to go down to the basement, and, again, producer setups. Conveniently, security was nowhere to be found. Let them go down there, and she had to go run and tell it. But I mean, who cares? It was the basement. I mean, honestly, does it really matter? The basement's not where you live. But anyway, so I thought the house was beautiful. I love the showdown between Kim and Kenya. Finally, somebody didn't back down to Kenya. I mean, Sheree didn't either, but Kenya walked away. But Kenya kept trying with Kim, but I really feel like Kim shut her down everywhere, every which way. So that was like the highlight to me. And I can't recall if anything else really went down at that housewarming. I know Sheree gave a speech. She kept saying, I did this on my own. I did this on my... Who is she trying to convince? Like, I don't believe Kenya. I don't believe Sheree did that all on her own. In the beginning of the episode, if y'all recall, when she was trying to convince her children that she did it all on her own, Kyra was like, oh, you're just going to give any credit to Kaylee, or something along those lines. I have to look back at the quote. But it sounded like her daughter had something to do with it, and her daughter even looked at her when she kept saying, I did it all by myself. So I don't know what steps were taken to get Chateau Sheree off the ground, closed, moved in or whatever else, but I don't think she did 100% by herself, and we don't really know what that means either, So at any rate, it's a beautiful house. I'm glad she's in there. The party looked nice. It was pretty intimate though, wasn't it? Pretty small, I guess. Small crowd, but at any rate, it was a great final episode. So stay tuned for the next episode for my recap of the reunion that started last night. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!